We are so back.
We are so back in the front room. Mate, we are close to... Mate. When I tell you, this is the 47th episode.
Is it?
It's the 47th episode, Two Left Feet Show.
The Phil Foden episode.
It's the Phil Foden Two Left Feet Show episode.
That is fucking fitting.
Is it?
It's fucking fitting. That. It's the Phil Foden episode.
Why is that fitting?
Because he's a topic of discussion.
Oh, you want to talk about a bit of Foden? Oh, wait, did I put that in the show notes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We've been sitting around just like, pardon, for lack of a better word, dicking about just like for 2 hours, just doing nothing really.
Pause. I was not dicking about.
It's a phrase, Chika. That is not a pause.
I was not dicking about. I'm sorry, we were not dicking about. I'm not. I'm just telling them the truth.
We were chilling. We're big chilling. Yeah, we were just relaxing, catching up, enjoying our bank holiday weekend. Okay, maybe no dicking about. Get off a terrible start for a pause. just released a new Matt P podcast.
Yes,
that's done well. Papa Pinkers. People seem to like it. You're getting messages from Canada. I'm getting messages from Bali.
Mad.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and that's mainly through TikTok shorts. Not gonna lie. If you haven't seen it, if you are watching this, tell your friend to tell a friend to watch our YouTube channel, because that would be great. Because yeah, it would just be great.
Would it?
Yeah, because people love the shorts. We're done 100k views last week. Thank you guys. But we want people to get to know us better, I think. And I want people to go back and watch the clip of you slating Kiwior, because a few followers have found it on TikTok,
as they should.
They came back to it. Should we play it out loud on the pod? I'm on the Two Left Feet account right now, and even you commented on it and gave yourself shit, which is classy from you, to be fair. Yeah, Kiwior took this personally. I'll put it into the microphone now. Here we go.
We win if Kiwior doesn't play.
What is it with this That's like the first mistake he's ever made.
Kiwior? It's not the first mistake, okay. No.
I don't think he's that bad. I think the hype...
He's not good enough. The drop-off is insane. Put Timber there. You'll see the difference. Kiwior, that's a simple back pass. Repetitive action you've done how many times in your career, and you're shaky. Like, if you're shaky at this level playing Bournemouth away and you're starstruck, then you just... I'm sorry, like, you're not good enough. Anytime he plays reasonable opposition, he gets found out. He's a dead baller, needs to go off back to Italy. He's not good enough, man. Like, I've had enough of him. He gets rinsed, he can't mark, doesn't have any, like, strength, can't clean up, can't do anything, bro. He's bang average in every single category.
Well, if you ask me, he's better than Schillaci.
I'd rather have Prime Schillaci right now.
What the is a Prime Schillaci? The more you listen to it, the more it just gets worse. And worse, and worse, and worse, and worse, and worse.
It's just a Schillaci, man. I probably should have said that. But all the rest of that, it was valid at the time, and it's probably helped him. It's probably made him work harder because he's online all the time. I know he saw that. He saw my story, so maybe I've got proof of that. If anyone wants to see that, Kiwior was checking out my story, and I said, "I always loved you, mate." I've given Kiwior nothing but love. Yeah, and you. So have you got any comments about that clip, about slating him coming on against Bournemouth? You know, I feel like, ever since the past 3 games, he's played well, 4 games. And he's obviously taken what I've said into account, and I'm happy to take, the applaud for that. So yeah, you're welcome. Like, okay, cool. He loves a tough love, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If that's what is needed for Kiwior to go places and to really improve his game, then I'll do it again. Okay. Do you want to touch on his performance? I mean, I don't want to touch on anything. Why are you making everything weird at the moment? Like, do you want to talk about his performance? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I was watching the game with you. Second leg. Yeah, First game he had a good game. Second leg, I thought he was ridiculous. Yeah. And actually, before we go into this, Chika has kindly reminded me before we start recording, we need to make sure this isn't a Arsenal-centric podcast going forward, because it's getting a bit ridiculous now. It's it's been a bit Arsenal heavy. So apologies to people who tune in for talk about other teams. We will touch on the Arsenal game because it is probably
the biggest game.
Look at him. He's like, sorry about the Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
I'm sorry. Do you think that's our biggest ever like victory in Europe?
In the Emirates era, yeah.
Yeah. So we have to talk about it. So I'm very sorry, but I'm not sorry at the same time. And Chika even texted me today going, we need to get some Tottenham guests on or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kiwior's performance. Is there... Firstly, you're not apologising.
No.
Okay. Secondly...
What am I to apologise for?
You told him to fuck off back to Italy. What do you mean you got nothing to apologise for?
I could have had a bit more decorum. I could have had a bit more pizzazz. You know, use my intellect and my vast vocabulary. And I chose not to. I chose to, you know, be a bit more direct.
Yeah.
But things happen. Shit happens. And look at that. Look, he's shut me up. But like.
Well, you're still talking.
Let's just hope this form continues, because I'd hate to be right. I really would.
Do you think he can do it against PSG?
Of course, he can do it against PSG. If he can do it against Real Madrid, he can do it against anyone.
But how good was he in that game?
No, that second leg. The first leg, I felt like, you know, Sleep was there and carried him a lot.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really get much to do.
Yeah.
But second leg, he put his name all over that game. Like, I think he was one of the top 3 players that performed on that night, up there with. Yeah, I thought he was kind of my man of the match just because of how low I rate him. Like, how low. But no, I'm joking. I love you, Kiwior, man. Like, you're my guy now. I trust you. I know that you can perform in the business. I just want you to do it consistently now, until the end of the season at the very least. Then, if you want to go back to Italy, you can. But this is your chance to be a legend.
So, do you know what it was in that game that I was like, wow? Is when he made that tackle on Vinicius. That was like I know they still attacked but he slowed down that attack. I think if he doesn't make that tackle, they've got that would go down as a clear-cut chance. Because I think it was like 3-on-2 at the time. He's actually surprisingly fast, and he's bigger than I thought.
He's not that fast.
Well, he caught Vinny.
Yeah, he got there.
He done well. I think he's an example of you're getting doubted. Maybe getting doubted in your Saturday, in your Sunday league. Everyone's talking. But you put that work in and you prove everyone wrong. He done well.
No, he did very well.
You know, he's surprisingly... I'm not saying he's amazing in the year, but he's surprisingly quite good in the year. I thought he would get bullied a lot more.
By who?
But then again, who's going to bully him?
Yeah.
Mbappe or like, Vinny? Yeah.
You know, like, I think there are going to be tougher tests, you know, potentially. Like, you're not really playing against an out-and-out number 9. I think they didn't use Bellingham in the right way, Real Madrid.
It's weird. He kind of went from left midfield to centre midfield in the second leg. And then Valverde was in the middle and then he played right back throughout the game. It's weird.
Yeah, I feel like Real Madrid a bit all over the place. I feel like... Yeah, but, you know, we'll take that all day. 5 on an aggregate against, you know, the reigning champions, the inevitables, the Champions League merchants,
the Galacticos,
whatever you want to call them, fucking trash. But
here's a thought: do you think if we play Atleti, we go through?
I think we'll have a much tougher time. I think we still go through, but I don't think that scoreline is what it is. I think Atletico are just so stout defensively, and I think they should have actually gone through.
Oh, the Alvarez double touch.
No, it was a double touch.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it was a double touch. But I think they were unlucky after how they performed over the 2 legs to have that one level and head to penalties. So it would have been a tough opposition, but I don't think they would have hurt us. I think we have the better defence. It was just up to like whether we can be clinical or not. But I think Real Madrid was always going to be a funner game to watch and experience and to react to. So it went the right way. Football's back.
Do you think Mbappe is becoming a bit of a problem with everywhere he goes? Because in that first leg, I know it's almost like a really lazy thing to say, and it's like Stevie Wonder could have seen that Vinicius and Mbappe weren't tracking back as the two strikers, but they weren't tracking back as the two strikers. It was a 4-4-2 in the first leg. They didn't drop, and they just felt really flat.
Yeah, I thought Vinicius was terrible over the 2 legs, and that's largely down to how active of a defender that Timber is. He's so proactive. He's physical. He leans on you. He also makes you chase him a little bit when he has the ball, like kind of teases the press and baits the press quite well. But I don't know. I thought Vinicius was awful. I was expecting to see, I was the guy that they were asking to win a Ballon d'Or at the start of the year and saying it was stolen from him. So
for me, it's a bit embarrassing. You don't turn up to the Ballon d'Or ceremony. But if you love Vinicius, I think he had a terrible game, 2 legs against Arsenal, but he's still an incredible footballer. But you can't. I'm sorry. What gives him the right to not turn up to the Ballon d'Or ceremony?
None of them turned up. All the Real Madrid associates, like the manager, the players, they in solidarity to Vinicius, they refuse to turn up. Like, do you know how many people have gone and like felt, like they've been misled or haven't been chosen or been rigged or whatever, and they still go? Like
Thierry Henry, Nedved.
Yeah, it says a lot about
Says a lot about him.
It says a lot about Real Madrid.
Yeah.
As a club.
Yeah.
Like, have some respect. We are probably the greatest club in the world, and your history is actually just amazing. But have some respect when it comes to football. Things happen, but look, he won the Champions League. Vinicius, if he wants to do it, if he's really that level, he'll do it. Have that season again, and he goes again and wins the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
provide him with the platform to do so, you'll get the right result.
But 100%. But you can't go missing in a Champions League quarterfinal like that, and then have the arrogance to not turn up. Just something really doesn't sit right with me with that.
Well, he's definitely not getting it this year, so...
Yeah, he was awful. Weirdly, I couldn't... Was Mbappe at Madrid by then? Yeah, he was.
Yeah. He's done half
Did he turn up to Ballon?
No one did.
Yeah. That's karma.
Yeah.
That's karma. The only bit of it I don't really mind is when Ronaldo said, no, Vinicius should have won it at the FIFA thing. As much as I didn't think that was classy, I thought, do you know what? This guy's won how many Ballon d'Ors? He can say what he bloody wants. As much as it's disrespectful, you go, it's Ronnie. Ronnie's done what Ronnie's done. Vinny's won the Champions League. He's won in Europe. He's how many has he won now?
3 or 4.
Yeah. He's done very well. But how many of those performances can you solely highlight as Vinny having a massive impact? With Ronaldo, I think of Cardiff in the purple kit. I think of against Atletico Madrid. There are so many performances in finals where I'm like, yeah, he was a massive part of that. I can't really, from the top of my head, remember Vinicius really having that much of an impact. It was more of a team performance. Who did they beat in the final last year? Inter. Yeah. Did he really have a...
No, Dortmund.
Dortmund. Did he really have a standout performance in that?
No, I think Carvajal scored. They kind of edged that game. It was a bit nervy.
Yeah, what was the score in that?
It's 1-0, 2-0.
Champions League final. I'm judging shit. What? Vinicius scored a hattie.
That's not the final though.
Was it?
No.
Final. 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0.
Vinicius scored.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him having like a massive...
No, Vinicius turned up that season. He was the best player in the Champions League that season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, he had great shouts to do so. It's just about, I guess, in a matter of opinion, who's more integral to what your club did. I think Rodri winning the international tournaments kind of just brought it over the line for him, I guess.
I don't know. I don't. He was incredible, but I don't know. Okay, ignore all I previously said. Obviously, chatting shit, but I'm trying to think. I just don't think he's done enough to have that arrogance yet.
Is it arrogance or supreme, like, confidence? I don't know. Like with Vinicius and Real Madrid, I would say they're a club on the verge of arrogance, even in the press conference after the Arsenal game and before. It was just weird. Like any other club, you'll be 3-0 down, they're acting like they're gonna walk it and go through. Like that's not the right attitude to have. It's good believing in yourself and believing you can come back and win, but just because of this, just because you're Real Madrid and you have this almighty stature as a club, doesn't mean that you're gonna walk any team in the Champions League after a three goal deficit. So it's just like, I don't know. It's nice to humble them. I'm sure they'll swallow it. And probably won't. And then can go back to the basics. Go back to the drawing board. They got a final in the Copa del Rey. Try not to boil that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I was chatting absolute was there, so ignore me for that. But I as much as he's done a lot, I still don't think he's done enough. Do you know what I mean? To be that arrogant, to get pocketed by Kiwior, you're not winning the Ballon d'Or.
You didn't get pocketed by Kiwior.
Can you remember the time he got pocketed by Timber?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm annoyed I've messed up that Vinicius thing.
Don't worry, I helped you. As I always do, I helped you.
Yeah, I remember him having a really good season, but I don't remember him playing a vital role in that Madrid final.
Like, finals are weird. Like, the game is going to be just a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just going to be capitalised on moments. But, like, he scored. I remember watching that game and being like, nothing's really happening. And, like, it's just quite tense and no one wants to make a mistake. And then eventually they Cabral scores a header from the corner.
Yeah.
And then I think Vinicius kills the game on late on. Like, I just remember that happening. But yeah, he had a great Champions League. That was what people were saying. He had an all-timer Champions League campaign.
Yeah, but I think it's because I don't see this Madrid team as good as the other Madrid teams of past, maybe. That's why I'm thinking, well, don't have that arrogance. I think, okay, I'm annoyed. Guys, zero ball knowledge when it comes to Vinny, clearly. So thank you for that, Cheeks. But I think with Vinny, it's... for me, it's just respect. It's still a ceremony. There have been plenty of times where you thought you should have got something in life. But life ain't fair. And Roger is very vital in that Champions League final. You look at his importance now. That he won it from.
Ballon d'Or, yeah.
When was it? 2024? 2023?
Remember, because the Ballon d'Or we're talking about, the Champions League last season is Vinicius.
Who won the last Ballon d'Or? Roger?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I get your years, but you know.
Yeah, mate. I need to stop talking about this because I really.
Well, we were trying to talk about Timber.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Anyway,
shall I explain it?
Do you know what? I've had some really big howlers on this pod, but I've got everything wrong so far. So I apologise to the audience. I apologise to you. So please, can you explain?
Okay, so last season kind of encapsulated. Real Madrid won the Champions League and Rodri won the league, won the Euros with Spain. So it's kind of like those two things combined, and obviously Vinicius had a great campaign in the Champions League. Like, he scored vital goals, he scored throughout the campaign, he scored in the final. His numbers last year were insane. I think who won was it Barca that won the league last season as well? I'm pretty sure Barca won the league last year. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure Real Madrid just won the Champions League, and they were saying, like, Vinicius, in terms of, like, scoring, assisting, leading his team, he deserved it. So it was just kind of neck and neck. They both won major titles, but I think the fact that Rodri won Player of the Tournament at the Euros kind of probably just pipped it for him.
Yeah. Okay, now I get the beef a lot. Everything just feels... As you get older, the years just all merge into one.
They do, yeah. And obviously, like, they did a treble the year before and he scored the goal.
Yeah.
But he wasn't picked for that year as well because Who won it that year?
That
Who the fuck won it?
who?
Was it? No, it can't have been Messi. Was it Messi?
Won what?
Who won the 2023 Ballon d'Or?
Oh, Modric.
Modric won it.
Yeah, I think so. 2023, yeah. Pretty sure it was Modric. 2023 Ballon d'Or. God, why, when you get older, can you never remember anything?
No, it was Messi.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Messi.
Oh, because of after the World Cup.
Yeah, after the World Cup.
Yeah, and then who won? When did Modric win it? Was it 2024?
Before that.
No, Modric won it in 2021, I think.
Modric won it after Croatia were in the semis. So he was the first one to win it after... Was it Benzema or him? That was...
Oh, he won it 2018.
Yeah, bro, you're...
My years are...
Yeah.
What is going on with me today?
Okay, we're going to move on because...
I
think Jack's getting exposed.
So, no, it's not... Am I really getting this old?
No, I think your memory is getting a bit...
My memory's always... Oh, Jesus. The thing is, because I remember all these things happening, but I don't... Because like when you were like, oh yeah, Vinicius had a great Champions League season, I was like, oh yeah, he was unreal. Because he was having those battles with Kyle Walker, I remember. But then in the final, I just can't remember the final. And then I thought Modric won the Ballon d'Or in 2022. I was 20 years old when he won it. What's going on? Okay, can we talk about Jury and Timber, please? Because this podcast is all over the shop so far. I apologise to the viewers. Well, we're getting on. This must be such a frustrating listen so far. Okay, let's talk about stuff we do know. Performances. Timber. This guy, I see the memes. I see everything around him. It's like 7.8, 7.5. He's never on a 6. It's always like 7.1 lowest match rating. Opta. It's something like that. We're not recounting anything. Regardless, I know every time Timber plays, he's just so consistent. And I was like, I love Ben White. I really like Ben White. But I think the only reason why Timber is better is Ben White's got a mistake or two in him. I have not seen a mistake in Timber, really. Apart from in that Real Madrid game towards the end, when he gave away a foul. Not that he's got zero mistakes in this game, but I think Ben White's got one or two more mistakes. That's how good both of them are. And how good is this guy? I've never seen... You know, he's Martinelli's age. Yeah, I forget that. Yeah. He plays like a 30-year-old fullback. Yeah, it's bizarre.
He's so mature. And he's definitely a quiet sort of leader in terms of the amount of responsibility he takes. But yeah, he's a baller, man. People saying he's worth 80 million, 100 million now.
Do you think? And also, do you know the context with Timber? He'd done his ACL. And he's coming back doing this well. And do you remember when he came back into the under-23s? He'd done like a Cruyff term and like whipped it top bins in the neon kit. I was like, what? I've never felt more secure.
Timber, revelation. Yeah. Like Ben White was like my guy. He still is my guy, but like you're gonna have to hold the bench right now, man.
Yeah,
because you're not really competing at the same levels.
And the thing is, Ben White isn't doing bad.
Ben White is class.
Ben White is still really good. I love Benny Blanco.
Yeah.
But he's like a transformer. He's a robot. I think Urian Timber is AI because he just gets everything right. Like,
no, he's a baller, man. I think he's starting to get the praise. I don't think he's getting the praise for maybe like other people, but I think Arsenal fans know how important he is to the way we're playing right now.
Yeah, he's a brute. He's fast. And also people like, I feel like people are talking about his like defensive ability. He's smart as anything. I think
he don't get skinned, man. There's so many times Ben White gets skinned. Like remember when Ben White would play Rashford? Ben White would play like Zaha. He get absolutely toasted. But this guy just played Vinicius, calm. These guys calm.
He's just on you 24/7, isn't he? I would hate to play against him because also he just doesn't stop.
He can play anywhere, left back.
Yeah,
he's played centre back for us.
Yeah, he's a machine. Do you reckon we should sign his twin brother?
No,
get him on the other side. His twin brother is good because I saw he played. Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was a left back. I thought he was another full back. But yeah, no, it just he's just got a bit of everything. Like, I feel like people are talking about him like physically because he's like on people 24/7. Like, fullbacks can't get past him, but technically on the ball as well.
Fullbacks.
Timber.
Fullbacks can't get past him.
Sorry, wingers can't get past Timber, because of his like he's fucking broad.
Yeah,
he's wham.
Huge.
He's fast, and people see that, and obviously his defensive IQ. More importantly, people see all that, and they're like, "Oh, he's a great defender." But going forward, like on the ball, I've seen him put in a few crosses now. He just always makes the right decision.
Yeah,
and it's so nice to see. I don't know. I think he's like the perfect fullback. If I was to build a fullback, I'd build Timber.
Cool. Yeah, no, 100%. Echoing everything you said, like Timber. We were all devastated because we saw like the clips. Remember when he did his ACL? We saw the clips in pre-season. We were watching him, and he was balling out in his first game, and then just for him to go out like that was so sad. And we couldn't wait for him to come back. Obviously, Ben White had a terrific season, but we just realized how much of an asset this boy would have been. Like, we bought him for 442 million for a reason, and now like he's definitely a mainstay.
Yeah,
I think people before that season would have said Ben White was untouchable.
Yeah.
And then having him coming back into the squad, playing in all sorts of positions originally, filling in after like a huge injury when we needed him. We didn't have any chance to rotate him that much, apart from a couple of times Partey playing our right back. But yeah, no, he's top.
He's solid like timber. There you go. Yeah. No, he deserves a lot of praise, and it's great to see him getting it now. It's great.
My boy Tim's.
That's the guy. So I don't want to bang on about. I've made about, I think, 2 videos now, and Matty P's made some videos on it after our last pod as well. And I'm sure many people are sick of us talking about Arsenal. But there is just one thing I want to talk about before we go and talk about other topics, which actually I'm looking forward to as well, because we are banging on about Arsenal quite a bit. Now, Wesley Sneijder said, and this one goes out to you, Wesley, I don't think Rice's free kicks were that impressive. This may sound strange, but it's extremely easy to curve a ball like that as long as you know how to take a shot. And I know all about this. He said free kicks. First one, I kind of hear where he's coming from, as much as I think he's wrong, because it still takes, and I'll get onto it. Madrid's wall were not set up right, and that is crazy for Real Madrid. Right, I've got some chin-chin in my mouth. There we go. The wall wasn't set up right. It was an option for Rice to do that. But to do that is not easy. So I hear what he's saying, that Real Madrid weren't set up right. They weren't. Courtois or whoever did not set up the wall right. But to execute that is very tough. The second one, that isn't just curving the ball, Wesley. I'm sure you know a lot more about technique than me, but it just stinks of rage bait, because you would know yourself to put power along with curve and whip like that. I've never seen anything like that, really, with that technique that Rice done. So if it's so easy, why is that such a surprise to me? Don't get me wrong, there have been incredible free kicks. Look at Ward-Prowse. But the pace along with the curve and whip that he got on that second free kick, that isn't easy. There was a reason why it was remarkable. There was a reason why people reacted to it, because we don't see that very often. And if it was that easy, then everyone would be doing it every week. And I think it stinks of... Do you remember when Thierry Henry said he found coaching really tough at first, because he was like, people can't do what I want them to do because I used to be able to do that. Wesley, you were, when it came to free kicks, wow. He was incredible. But I think he's seeing it from his side, where he's like, I have the ability to do that, so it's easy. Not everyone has the ability to do that, Wes. Do you know what I'm saying?
I just think he's a plonker. I think he's a
Really?
genuine plonker. Like, he's a quality player. He definitely could do that. But to say that is something like not impressive, or to do at that level with that amount of pressure, I even prefer the first free kick over the second one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I just think the amount of whip and bend around that wall, the near post, is just insane to me. Like, the second one is obviously right in the top bins, and it's fucking insane, and it's from further out. But I don't know. Like, I just think both skills are just so hard to do.
Yeah.
Imagine doing it at that stage twice in a row. Like,
Yeah, you're trying to downplay the fact that the guys... I don't even know if Juninho ever did that. I'm sure someone will pull up the video now. But there's a reason why I'm referencing Juninho. Because everyone knows Juninho for scoring amazing free kicks. I don't even think... Again, people are going to pull up the video again. I've never seen Ward-Prowse score 2 free kicks in a row. Do you know what I mean? And I have to reference people like that who are known for free kicks because I can't think of anyone else. I don't think, and this is a massive statement with the first one, from what I've seen, and this could be very biased, someone whipped the ball round the wall like that since Roberto Carlos. And Roberto Carlos's was a completely kind of different technique because he kind of traveled it, didn't he? But I can't remember a bend on the ball like that.
it's insane. Payet, maybe.
Oh, yeah. No, but that dipped.
Yeah, but he had a lot of free kicks.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. Point being, it's an incredibly hard thing to do.
Nah, yeah. Free
And-
kicks are so much harder than the lit.
And I think it says a lot about him because it's just like, Big Wes, we know you can do that, but stop talking like everyone else could do that. It's like you're just seeing it from your point of view, which is quite bad punditry. Because you're thinking, yeah, I did that. He probably did. He probably put like 5 top ins because Wes on a free kick, stupid. But it's just such a...
Just
it's a lack
greatness.
of... Yeah, it's just a lack of thought. And you see it in the Dutch media a lot.
Bro,
They're
he's
as
been
bad
saying
as...
so much.
They're as bad as the English media. I've seen so many like near fights break up because of the media there.
It's just Wes being a freaking... Just forgetting what it's like to be a professional football player. Like, I've seen so many clips of him in the past year, just with like little comments like these, just trying to rile people up and getting in spats with like strikers about form and former players that he played against and trying to like bait them out. But I don't know. He's just trying to get his couple minutes of fame back in.
Well, there was always rumours about the Dutch team always falling out, so no surprise who one of the culprits was. Anyway, Wes, that's poor bit of punditry. Never ever going to talk to you about technique on a free kick in detail because you'll wipe the floor with me. But just have the humility to realise not every human can do that, essentially, and appreciate when something amazing happens. Don't be controversial for the sake of being controversial. I think it's a mix of a lack of humility and a lack of awareness and wanting to rage bait.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to talk about Man United?
United. You and I.
The Manchontada.
TD.
Did someone say Manchontada?
United is a shitty team. No.
They done well though.
What? Leon?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Like, you know, it's funny. The level that they got to, you know, such a big club. And obviously it's great. Like, scoring 3 goals in 6 minutes, you think you're down and out, get a goal back, you think you can make it, get another goal, you're like, oh, we're going to penalties and getting another one.
Yeah.
It's like it's just, it's basically impossible what they did. But, you know, then you end the game, you're like, oh, well, they're still in the Europa League.
Yeah.
You know, and then 3 days later, they're humbled even further. And they can't even score at home against Wolves.
It's weird.
It's weird. And I don't know, I can't shake that feeling. So this is officially going to be the worst ever points total. I think they've had the most games where they haven't scored. They've set like insane amount of records this season for how they performed. And it's just like, I don't know where, you know, you're hoping that, you know, the Europa League winning that would be like a bright light. But I honestly can't see this team winning.
I can see him winning Europa.
I can't.
Well, who if Spurs have got Bodo Glimt? Who have United got?
Bilbao.
Oh, Bilbao, no jokes.
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah. Well, Williams not had a great season, but he can definitely hurt them.
Oh god, yeah, that.
I don't think they beat Tottenham. If Tottenham are fully fit, I don't think they beat them.
Although my mum was saying that it's like my mum, I think she was saying they've beaten them every time.
4 times this season.
4 times this season, yeah. And she was like, it'd be the most Spursy thing to lose to United.
Yeah, you never know in a final, and I would say that they have more match winners at United, and more players are used to playing at the top level, so they weren't really shying away from a final like that. But who knows? You've got to get to the final, innit? And
do you think? I think their Man United are so bad right now that like it was the FA Cup win they kept on Ten Hag, and it was like, oh, this is papering over the cracks. I think they're in such a bad spot right now. There's so much bad PR. That, as you said, they're breaking all sorts of bad records. I think they're in such a bad way that even a Europa League win doesn't paper over the cracks now. How crazy is that?
But they'll be in the Champions League.
They will. With what players? Because
I don't even trust their recruitment at this point. Like, I feel like they can be in the Champions League all they want. They can rave about this, rave about that. But let's be honest, like, I think they're going to be in real trouble next season. I think, especially if they don't even win the Europa League. I just can't. I'm struggling to see how they'll be able to plug this many gaps in their team and the mentality going forward. They're in a bit of a tricky spot where they can just wither away into nothing if they're not careful.
Do they still sell Garnacho and Mainu if they qualify for the Champions League just because of the revenue that you'd get?
I don't think any of that changes. I think if they really want to refurbish the squad, they're going to have to make at least 1 or 2 of those sales.
Yeah, well, Mainu's going to strike up a fee. I think we've talked about this maybe 4 or 5 times this season. I have no words. When I went there, I can say this now because the video's come out. When I went there with Mike's to film the video for Adidas, just got to plug that. And thank you, Adidas. I'm very, very grateful. But when I went to visit Old Trafford, I can't tell. Like when you see your mate and he's almost giving off, like, you can tell he's in a bad way, like he's upset. They give off an energy. There was the energy all around the stadium of just, for a lack of a better word, depression. It just felt so still, felt so numb. It's a club that needed to... It's just a club that has survived through Alex Ferguson before he left. That man has single-handedly papered over cracks so well at the end of his tenure that we didn't realise that the Glazers were taking out that much money, like running in Man United into millions and millions of pounds of debt, to the point now where they can't get their free lunches. Still find that mad. I think if anything from all this, it just shows how incredible Alex Ferguson is.
It does. What he's able to do with squads and what he's definitely like the go of the Premier League. I'm not buying into this owner nonsense because at the end of the day, like, we can say, when did the Kroenkes come? Kroenkes came 2012, was it? Or I don't know, but they came. We hated them for like 5 years.
Well, they joined and then they got majority ownership about 5-6 years ago.
We wanted them gone for a couple of years, and like it just took them spanning the right amount of time to find people that can actually build this club up. It's about putting the right people there. Like United, you can say like, yeah, they owe a lot of money, but they've spent millions, hundreds of millions.
I know
each year. So I feel like,
but from what you've said there, it should have been on the Glazers to appoint people to run the club better.
No,
because
100%.
what the Cronkies have done really well is they're like, we don't know much about soccer, so we're gonna create a team to build this club. We're gonna help where we can, but we want to let people who know a lot more about football than us run the show, essentially, and that's what they've done with the backroom staff. That's what they've done with Edu, giving him such an important role. The Cronkies essentially were humble enough to know that they don't know anything, and it seems like the Glazers and the Cronkies looked in and they made smart appointments. They see, it just seems like the Cronkies thought about stuff, whereas the Glazers were like, let's do that, that will help things. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like lazy recruitment from the Glazers, whereas Cronkies kind of thought about things a lot more. I don't know the ins and outs, but from an outside point of view, that's what it seems like. But I just think it's crazy. I just think it's crazy to see a giant. This is like Real Madrid falling in Spain, and they never have really.
Well, there was a couple periods where I think when Beckham was there, they didn't really win much. I think they just won one Premier League title, one La Liga title. So like, there's been blitz, but it's never been a situation where they've been out of Champions League football.
Yeah.
And like petering out to like they're closer to relegation than competing for the title. That's insane stuff to see, and I feel like once you get in this rut, it's hard to come out of it. Like the past 5 years, they've recorded some of their worst ever finishes, and you know, they've now sacked their director of football again. They have to go through another hiring process for that. I don't know, man. There's too many question marks. There's question marks around the stadium. There's question marks around the manager. There's question marks around who's going to be playing next season, who's going to be bought next season. It's just too many things that need to fix and they probably want to do it in the shortest amount of time. And I just don't think that it's going to take a miracle to kind of fix that sort of thing.
Man United is stopgap FC. Do you know what I mean? They are stopgap FC. And just touching on the Fergie bit a bit again, I remember that game against Arsenal in the FA Cup where they put like John O'Shea centre midfield and put like one of the Raphael and Fabio up top or on the wing or something. Alex Ferguson was incredible looking back on it. Jesus Christ. Yeah. But there are so many things, and it just... I just don't think the Glazers know how to run a football club, really, full stop. They just saw it as an important investment. And yes, I know what you're saying about the Cronkies, we want them out, but at least they took the time to appoint people and think about how can we work together to build this club up cohesively. And Cronkies do have a good track record. Look at the Denver Nuggets in the NBA, the LA Rams in the NFL. They're very good at what they do.
Yeah, the Rams won a title, but now they're going back to being shit. You know, I don't know. You know, didn't the Glazers appoint Sir Alex and keep him there and help him where he could? And do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really blaming them. You know, I want them to stay. For multiple reasons that I won't go into. You know, I love the Glazers. You know.
Nah, mate. Seeing a club die is never fun, even if it is Man United.
They're not dead.
Well, Radcliffe was saying they were coming close.
Yeah, of course, because he wants to be seen as a saviour. I don't like that guy either. I hate that. Like, I just don't like him at all. Of course, he's gonna say that, and he's there cutting jobs. They're doing this, doing that.
I don't know. I think we don't realise how bad the Glazers actually have been.
Of course.
To be the richest football club in the world in terms of revenue, to be in such a loss is, again, lazy. It's a true example of being a lazy football owner. You just said they're sacking the director of football again. There is no plan. And everything, you know, like when you're at work, everything comes from the top. If the owner's not doing a great job, then the manager's not going to do a job. Then the employees aren't going to do a job. There is no thought. And Alex Ferguson is essentially proved he was running the show. Even if you think about it, as much as Fergie had a big part in hiring Moyes,
Mm.
that was, he's really good. He's Scottish.
Mm.
Let's really look at it. He's Scottish. He's done well at Everton for ages. I'm sure it'll be fine. Moyes was a panic hire, and when Fergie's coming to the end of the reign, you've got to take a lot more time and build a whole kind of rebuild and start running the club in a different way. Because Fergie was like an octopus. He had his tentacles everywhere and everything. You've got to have the awareness to realise that for a manager like that, things are going to change. And yes, it's going to be a bumpy ride, but as long as you've got a plan, you'll be all right. They have never had a plan since 2012. And it's lazy ownership. And I think as much as we hate the Cronkies and there's many reasons for that. We're not buying enough people. They've run Arsenal well, as much as maybe people won't agree with them morally, and there's this whole thing about money that I won't say anything on because I don't want to get in trouble. But Cronky, the Cronky Entertainment Group or whatever, have put a stable structure in place with Arsenal, and Man United have never had structure to them since Fergie left. There was never any plans. They came from Fergie running things in the 80s and 90s to like similar to like when Wenger had control of everything, and just thought, it'll be okay. This Moyes will be able to handle it like Fergie did. No, it's a different time. You need a new plan. Even Arsenal tried it with Emery. We had Rels and Yehi. We had a big board of high-ranking officials at Arsenal, or like whatever Edu's role was called, and then they saw, that's not working, so let's put Edu in charge. I forget, is it directing of
what? Director of football.
That was Edu director of football.
Sporting director.
Or
director for one of them.
Yeah, they scrapped it. They weren't afraid to scrap it. We had Mislintat for ages as well, and he was in charge of recruitment. And then they saw that wasn't working. So he wasn't working. And Arsenal weren't afraid to change things. They had the plan. They were like, we're going to get Edu to work one-on-one with Arteta. Essentially, sorry, I'm rambling on. But Man United have never had a plan.
I think they've had a plan. It's just not been the good one. They had, what's his name? Ed Woodward. Absolutely shocking. But, they tried to go again, they gave him budgets, they gave him all sorts, he messed it up. And now, obviously, Ratcliffe has come in and he's trying to do things his way, and you're going to make mistakes, kind of like Burley did initially with the process. But, he's obviously hired straight away Dan Ashworth, didn't work out. He's now gone on gardening leave as well. And they're going to have to switch things up. Until it gets to a certain stage, it's just the nature of the game.
There's no cohesiveness. And I think when we had Mislintat, I remember there was like arguments going on in regards to recruitment and Sanyehi. There was some really weird dealings at that time. And Arsenal saw a problem with that, and they weren't afraid. I think Sanyehi got sacked or something like that.
I don't know, there's been a lot of people with Gazidis as well.
Yeah, Gazidis.
Choosing to leave. The guy that just joined Tottenham, the CEO. Yeah.
There are so many things I don't really understand, but it just feels like Arsenal have a plan and Man United have never.
It's always going to seem that way when your club is successful on the pitch. You really dissect a club when the performance on the pitch is scrutinised. Do you know what I mean? Like, really and truly, if they'd strung together a couple of results and got back into European places, we won't be talking about the Glazers so much. I've never heard about the Glazers until fucking Fergie had left, and like they had Vinny, they had what's his name? I say Vinny.
But that's the point. He was papering all over those cracks for so long.
But like, everyone has a plan until they get fucking punched in the face. You know what I mean?
It's been 13 years. They could have come up with a plan in 13 years.
I think they've had one. They've just not been good.
I think it's laziness.
I think it's just bad execution rather than laziness.
I think it's laziness. All right. There are so many things with that topic I probably don't know about, and I don't want to start talking about too much about like technical dealings upstairs, because I won't understand too much. But Trent, he scored against Leicester yesterday, 1-0 when we're recording this. What do you think he meant by that?
What? The goal?
Leaving the shirt on the corner flag.
I think he meant that he's a legend. He's created a moment. That's another goal, another thing he's done to prove himself. You know, I think it's a signal that he's leaving, but his legacy won't ever leave. In a weird way, I think it's a way to silence the critics. He didn't even start that game, and he came on and produced that magical moment. I think they're gonna miss him so fucking much. I think they're gonna like the amount of things he does for them going forward. Conor Bradley, don't get me wrong, good player, solid, but he's nowhere near the levels that Trent does.
Do you think Trent directly affects their how well they perform next season?
100%. Like, if they don't find someone that can make that pass that automatically gets them high up the pitch with that sort of accuracy, gets the ball quickly up to the wingers, up to Salah, I don't think they need to find someone that can progress the ball, sometimes someone that can pick up the ball from deep, create chances. There's so many chances that he'll be just sit out of his foot, boom, ping, he threw on goal. Sit out of his foot, cross, back post, ball back in, goal. There's so many actions he does that create so many chances and gets him out of trouble every single time. And it's not even just creating the chances or passes that lead to chances. It's more being able to create that space for other teammates by just receiving the ball and shifting it. Like, there's just so many things he does for that team that I don't think someone like Conor Bradley is going to be able to do. Conor Bradley is a great engine. He's a good runner of the ball. He's physically, he can defend, but he's also injury prone himself. I just don't think he can do the magic that Trent does. I don't think Salah's going to be like, yes, I got him playing behind me. It's going to be so much easier for me to get the ball. I don't think Salah's thinking that. Salah's going to miss Trent so much.
Yeah. And do you think at Real Madrid he brings a lot to them? Do you think he'll directly help them?
I think so. I think, you know, once they get a proper coaching, no disrespect to Ancelotti, he's one of the best of all time. But I think if they're actually able to build a team here, I think the players up front are going to honestly it's going to be a scary sight. I think defensively they still need to come up with solutions. I think they're going to have to probably buy a Saliba-like centre-back that can deal better in like 1v1 situations and cover him and cover a huge amount of grass. I think they're going to need to bolster their central defensive midfield options as well, get some physicality in there. But I think, yeah, you're adding another star, you're adding another world-class player who can do an insane amount of things that no one else can do. So it's going to be scary, but I think with that, he still has his attributes that aren't necessarily benefits.
Yeah, I just imagine a Trent ball to Vinny or Mbappe. It's going to be scary.
Bro, do you know what I mean? Like, Liverpool are going to miss him so much. I think he's the one that hurts the most.
Really?
Yeah.
Over Van Dijk and Salah?
Oh, Salah, like, you got 2 years, you got 1 or 2 years left in both of them. Trent is 26. You could have had 6, 7 years of him. 6, maybe 8. He's a right back. It's not like he needs that much physicality.
Yeah, that is probably the most frustrating looking at it in hindsight.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, Salah and Van Dijk are the pinnacle, but like, Trent's not even in its prime yet, bro.
Interesting.
You know how I feel about Trent.
Yeah. Now, I feel like I haven't really explained myself in this pod too well so far, but one thing I wanted to talk about when we had Matty on, but it was a 2-hour podcast in the end, so I couldn't really fit it in, is Jack Grealish. Now, yeah. Oh, Matt P's just messaged me.
What are you saying?
Dries Mertens has just liked our video about Trent. I'm not even joking. That is so random. Sorry, I was going to do a whole point about Jack Grealish. Keep this in. As we're rolling, Belgian
legend, man.
Dries Mertens has just liked our video about Trent. Well, Matt the video from the podcast. That is bizarre. I'm just gonna talk about. Bro, we're currently recording right now, and that's making a cut. That is so bizarre. That is bizarre. Let us know if some other random footballers like the video, because I'm pretty sure we pissed off Zaha before. Much love, geese.
Jeez.
Big Drees.
Big G's.
That's funny.
Mertens, you know.
Mertens is a fan of the pod. Mertens is a lefty.
He's a lefty.
Dries Mertens is a lefty.
Is he retired yet?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he retired, yeah.
That's big news on the pod. That is breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking
be like Dries lefties and like, comment and subscribe and follow.
Dries Mertens is a lefty. That was breaking news as we recorded. You see Declan Rice even liked his video that he made about the free kicks.
No, I didn't see that.
Declan Rice liked it. All right, wow. We got our first footballer fan. Our first
Kiwior was in your story.
Kiwior was watching my stories, but he didn't like it. He was just praying. He wanted to know my opinion. And you knew I backed him. But yeah, Dries Mertens is... I think we've got a pro to Dries Mertens every night now. Or just like... I think he's our go-to player. No, we've got to get him on the video. Chia Doze Bene Dries Mertens combo for a video would be incredible.
You should message Chia Doze.
Oh, I want to get Chia Doze on.
Get him.
All right. Okay, cool. Now to be a bit more negative. Jack Grealish, he doesn't pick his transfer fee, and I know that part of the reason that City signed him is because he drew so many free kicks, and you know, if it was changing for £100 million. And I didn't want to mention this before in the podcast before because he scored that goal against Leicester and it's a very wholesome moment. And Jack Grealish seems like a really, really, really lovely guy away from football. But talking solely about football, I think it's the worst £100 million signing of all time. I think it's the worst record-breaking season of all time. I was just looking at his stats for the Champions League when they done the treble. In 13 matches, how many goals and assists did he get?
I think he had a terrible... stat, just 1 assist, 2 assists maybe.
Nothing.
Damn.
He had no output. This season he's played 90 matches, got 1 goal and 1 assist. Season before he's got 3 goals in 20 matches and 1 assist. When they won the Prem, he got 5 goals and 7 assists. On his first season he got 3 goals and 3 assists. I don't think, because he is such a lovely guy and seems like such a sound bloke, and he is, I'm sure he is, and all the charity work he does. But talking solely about football and him as a footballer in his job, I don't think he's done well at all. And I don't think we talk about it enough.
Obviously, as a whole, his City career hasn't been that good. You know, you buy 100... He was the best player outside the top 6 when he was bought. And, like, you know, it was a huge signing. You expected him to hit the ground running and be playing with a bit more freedom. So yeah, it's been a disappointment. To argue your point, I remember the treble season and I remember it being a thing where he wasn't really contributing, but he was working fucking hard. I remember watching a couple games being like, we actually starting to see a bit more confidence from him, a bit more like guile from him. He was tracking defenders, pressing, just being a bit of a nuisance, winning fouls, buying time, shifting the ball, taking responsibility. Yes, he wasn't really producing big numbers, but like, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, you win a treble, no one cares if you scored in that whole campaign or assisted in that campaign. You've won the treble. Like, you've completed football, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else left for you to do. So, like, obviously since then he's had a huge amount of injury problems and his form's got even worse. Probably had, you know, family problems, probably had personal issues to deal with, and probably just taking his foot off the gas because you've completed football.
But do you think he's a failure of a transfer? It's a tough one, isn't it? Because as a club and him being part of that team, he's been very successful. But you look at his output and you think, how much did you contribute to that, really? I know goals and assists aren't everything. And as you said, he was tracking back, he was working hard, he was drawing fouls. And drawing fouls was one of the main reasons why he was signed for City. But you look at that output and you think, that's not £100 million worth of signing, and I know he doesn't choose
Not
that.
at all, yeah.
So I think, unfortunately, because of the price tag and how much City paid for him, as much as he has kind of contributed by being in the team, I think that's a failure of a transfer. And I don't think anyone's really touched on the fact that he has had a downfall at 28, 29. And I know he's had injuries and stuff like that. And I know no one talks about him in the same way as Foden, but I don't think we mentioned the fact that, sadly, Jackie Grealish is a failure of a transfer.
Yeah, like, he's definitely not even filled half of his price tag, you know. You don't spend that much for a workhorse and for a few fouls that you might benefit off. So yeah, like, it's been a bit of disappointment. I remember when I knew he was leaving Aston Villa and I wanted him at Arsenal. I wanted him to fill that left-hand spot. I thought he would have been great. And I was devastated that he went to City, but ever since then I was like, well, thank God he went there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not complaining. He won the treble.
Yeah, he's not complaining. It's just, yeah, I'm not sure.
It's just a weird one because I just don't think anyone's ever really touched on it in that great a detail. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like the Foden situation. Now, Foden's a bit different, I think, because if you look at the season where he won the PFA Player of the Year, was it
Last year?
Last year, yeah. 19 goals in 35 matches and 8 assists. That's very, very good stats, and he was vital in the late run-in. I remember those goals against Leicester that won the title against us. This season, however, he's played 25 matches, got 7 goals and 2 assists. But I think the main thing with him is the fact that he just goes missing. And I remember Wrighty, Neville, and I think it was Carragher were having a big debate on the overlap about this. And they're saying, why is he still getting in the squad? He's just not doing enough. He's not doing enough for England, and he's not doing enough for City. I feel like in a moment when you're going through a difficult time, Haaland's still bagging. De Bruyne just looks past it. But those three are a big, big part of City's success. And I know Foden you could describe as a luxury player, but he came big last year, so you know he can come big. So why is he going missing in games this season? Do you think there's a reason to it?
Foden. It's tough. Like, Foden's a great player. Like, the amount of stuff he can do with the ball and like the ability that he has, but it just probably seems to me at this current state that he's not going to be a player that will lead a team.
But it's weird because he kind of did last season. Do you know what I mean? So you know it's there, and I know he's still fairly young, but it's just frustrating to see because Haaland's still doing well, and then as I said, De Bruyne's kind of, it seems like injuries caught up with him and he's getting on.
But that's the whole point. Like, the whole point is like everyone was fit last season, or everyone in that tail end when Foden was kicking on, everybody was available. He had space, and now he's the focal point, and now he's the one expected to lead rather than be on the end of things. I think it's a bit more difficult for him. I think he'll get back to the levels that we've seen. Like, I think it's probably more of a blip. I think that's normal in football. You can't be bagging 15 goals every season. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of similar. It's kind of similar to what's happening with Odegaard. He's not really had the best of seasons, but you know, I think obviously I don't think he's had as bad a season as Foden has been having. I've touched on Odegaard, to be fair, but it's just one of those things. Like, you know, I genuinely believe class is permanent. He hasn't lost his ability to play football. It's just one of those things where he's going to need to find a bit of, probably needs to take the summer out and just relax, reset.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully they find I don't hope they do, but I'm sure they will probably come back with a completely new midfield next season that can probably operate behind him. So, I think Foden is massively been overrated, and even what he's done for England on that scale has kind of been diabolical in my opinion for a player of that stature. So I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame someone at his level of ability is not really able to really impact games as much as he did last season, or even for his country at all. But yeah, I think he should definitely be left out of England starting lineups. Like, it just doesn't fit with him in.
It looks like City are going to be playing in a different way because Marmoush is playing as a second number 9 next to Haaland, pretty much, as he's come in. Do you think that'll help? Him having more freedom in the middle?
No, like...
Because defences will have to drop deeper if they're playing Marmoush as another number 9, essentially, with Haaland.
I think the thing about getting Marmoush closer to the centre of the pitch, like, I think he is more of a striker than anything else. And, like, he's most dangerous when he's in and around the box and can have a snapshot. I think he can play out wide, he can contribute to assists and goals from there, but I think he just has a knack for finding the goal and you want him as close as possible. I think it's going to be different. I think they still need to find a solution and still probably plan to build out this squad. They've already invested in Doku, Savinho, so is it worth them getting another winger in this transfer window? I'm not really too sure. I think Kusanov as well, like you said before, like he's one of those that's just he's very raw, but you can see why they bought him. You can see how the amount of pace and power he has, and you can see like with the Premier League, it's just getting so physical these days. And yes, he's still yet to peak in terms of his physicality and his all-round kind of like maturity on the pitch, but I genuinely believe like he could be a decent little player going forward. And I think with the decline of Diaz and Stones, I think it's only right to, trust your scouts with this one and give him a bit of time. Like we gave Guardiola a bit of time, and after 6 months he was producing.
Yeah. What obviously Foden's had it, but what do you think about Marmoush so far? I know we said, what do you think about him? Do you think he'll come good? And he has come good. He's bagging all the bloody time at the moment. Do you think it's the way they play? As I say, they're putting Marmoush a bit higher up the pitch and kind of creating another outlet up top alongside Haaland. They're not really...
Well, the one fucking week I get him into my fantasy, he fucking doesn't score, does he? Piss me off. But
it looks like Pep's trying to change the way they play now.
I think he's just going to have to become more unpredictable. I think that is the key. Having a team that is fluid and having numerous matchups you can have, it's going to be difficult for any team to kind of suss you out. I think that is what Pep is probably starting to realise. It's gotten a bit stale, obviously, without like players like Rodri and De Bruyne not being on top form. It's like plan A was always just so good that even if the opposition could prepare for it, they couldn't stop it. But now with those players in decline and Haaland now being out injured, you need to now stop being lazy as a coach and like relying on things that used to work and actually starting to put some different patterns of play and different solutions.
I'll see if I can find
counter some of these issues. So it's tough. But I think it's exciting to see new players. Like we'll start to see like City bringing in like youngsters now. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got Nico O'Reilly, you've got McAtee getting chances. Marmoush is relatively at a good age. They got some exciting. They got one of the best academies, and like it's good to finally start seeing some youth on that pitch. Yeah, I think they're in a rebuild phase. Pep's got 1 more year left, and we'll see what he does with it.
Do you think he'll go off? Yeah, he's got to go off this season.
I think so. I think he's getting a bit bored.
You wanted to touch on the Unity Cup.
Yeah, man.
What is the Unity Cup? Because I actually don't know.
You don't know?
Don't know about the Unity Cup, sir.
Well, this Unity Cup is like... So this year it's going to be in like a knockout format. But there's only going to be 4 teams involved. So it's going to be Nigeria and Ghana from Africa going to battle in one semi-final. And then it's going to be Trinidad and Jamaica in the other semi-final. Obviously, whoever wins each of those games... goes to the final, plays each other, and wins the cup. The Unity Cup is kind of just like after the season's finished. I think it's like literally a week or 2 after at the Brentford Stadium, G-Tech.
Oh, sick! Should we go to a game?
Yeah, I'm thinking like a lot of people mentioning like, oh, they want to go and this and that. So I don't know why I'm hesitating. Like I got shit to do. But
yeah. What's the importance of it then?
I don't think there's like a general importance. They've done it before. Do you want to guess who was in the last Unity Cup? in 2004. It was 3 teams.
Yeah.
And it was a table format.
Jamaica. Were they in it?
Yeah, Jamaica.
Ivory Coast.
No.
Nigeria.
Yes.
And I want to say another West African team, but I don't think it's Ghana. Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
No. It's not an African team or a Caribbean team.
Who is it?
Ireland.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, this is why you brought it up. There we go. What?
Ireland, it was a competition in 2004. It was played at Charlton Stadium in the Valley. And it was Jamaica, Ireland, and Nigeria competing for the Unity Cup in 2004. Do you want to know who won it?
Jamaica.
No.
Nige.
Yes.
yeah. Why were Ireland did
Jamaica
that?
lost all their games. They
Did they?
didn't score a goal.
That's a really random one. The only way I can see Ireland linked... I can see... No, they're all kind of linked.
Yeah, you guys, you beat Jamaica 1-0.
Yeah.
We beat Jamaica 2-0. And we beat you in the first game 3-0.
Because like everyone says the Jamaican accent sounds like similar to like an Irish accent sometimes. Because there are words that we share. Like sometimes I worry... Like sometimes I'll say like a little phrase that like my granddad or grandma would say, and I'm like, I'm just sounding like a white boy that wants to be Jamaican. But it's generally like some of the phrases. Like we say Egypt the same way Jamaicans say Egypt. So it's funny. Like Irish and Jamaican have that in common, the language, and then Nigeria and Ireland share a patron saint. Both have Saint Patrick. And both love a Guinness.
Yeah,
that's why they probably did it.
Yeah.
The Unity Cup. They all love a Guinness.
Yeah.
Jamaica love a Guinness punch.
Okay.
In Nige, they drink like the 8% Guinness, isn't it? It's like quite strong, the Nigerian Guinness.
That Guinness is it packs a punch.
Yeah, my mum uses it to make Guinness stew, and then we like the 4% Guinness. So there you go. It should have just been called the Guinness Cup.
I think the reason why they did that was because those 3 are the biggest, well maybe at the time, are the biggest diasporas in London. So they just thought, maybe get all the fans. Create a big thing. And I think the thinking with this is kind of like, getting like 4 Afro-Caribbean countries that are kind of like, don't know, like a big part of London and like English culture at the moment. And like, making a big thing.
They should have got Albania and Somalia to play as well, and Congo.
Oh, no, that's too much now.
Why? Mainly
we're just creating, instead of cup, it's going to be a league format now.
Yeah,
fuck the Nations League. Let's put it.
It should be the Camden Cup, because everyone I grew up in Camden was Congolese, Somali, Albanian, Kosovan actually as well, Irish, and from the top of my head, that's the main kind of groups I grew up with. So. That's the new Camden Cup, if anyone has any ideas.
Man, we should do a cup this summer.
I'm trying to think. Did I say Nigeria in there? I don't think I did. I didn't really grow up with too many Nigerians.
Well.
Yeah. In Camden, there's not... No, I did. I did. A few. Just not as much as Congolese. I don't know, around here, a lot of my friends were Congolese. Okay. Or Kosovan, or Albanian, or Somali. Or Irish. Fun facts for Jack.
Very fun facts.
Yeah. But no, that's a good idea. Although, is there a big Trini community in London, really?
Yeah, it's quite a bit. I don't know how big it is, but it's obviously not as big as nation, population-wise. Or
Ghana and Nigeria and Jamaica definitely have a high diaspora here. Isn't AJ Tracy part Trini? Yeah. That's the only one I can think of. That's the only person I can think of. Well, that's interesting. No, I think that's a really good idea. I'll roll if you roll.
Yeah, I think I'm down. I was kind of like pausing at it, but I think if I go, then we should definitely go, man.
Nice.
I think
I'm down.
A lot of people trying to go.
Lovely. Now, one thing I also want to talk about is there a player this season that you just think's absolutely flown under the radar in regards to performance? I've got one right here, and I want to know if you agree with me.
Okay.
With this person.
I hope it's the same one I've picked.
It'd be sick if it was. He actually plays...
I don't think it is.
He actually plays in the stadium that you just mentioned. So, is it the same one?
No.
Johan Visser.
Okay. Okay.
I think Johan Visser has absolutely flown under the radar. And honestly, I don't think he gets respected enough. I know we talked about Mbeumo getting respected, but when Tony left a big hole. He was scoring a lot for Brentford, and for both Mbeumo and Visser to come in and perform still to a good level. I mean, Brentford is still going strong in the Premier League, and that's for a club who spent a lot of time in League One and the Championship in the 2000s. I think it's very impressive that they've been able to maintain their Premier League status for so long, and I think Mbeumo and Visser are a big factor in that. Did you know in 30 matches how many goals has Visser scored?
14, 13?
16.
Mad.
He's bagged 16 goals, and here's us saying it's, as earlier in the pod, saying it's hard to bag over 15 every season. And last season he played 34 and got 12, so that's an improvement. How old is he as well?
Congolese.
He's 28. He is in his prime, but I think that's completely flown under the radar. That's more than, what's that? That's slightly more than one goal every 2 games. I think he's brilliant. I think he's technically fantastic. I think he's a great finisher. He's got a bit of shit house in him, like he did against Arsenal, and he always pops up at the right time. I just think Visser is a very, very good player, and I think he's. If I'm Brentford, I'm like, I really hope people stay quiet on him, because the return of 16 goals in 30 matches for a team like Brentford, who aren't even in the top half of the table, is incredible. I think he's technically great. I think he's also got 3 assists on top of that. So he's had 19 goal contributions in 30 games, and you can't dispute that. I think he always pops up in the right area. I think technically he's brilliant. He's got a great finish on him. And he doesn't stop. He's one of them players that are just like touch tight to you all the time. So Johan Visser, shout out you. I think you've been absolutely underrated this season, and I think if clubs are looking for I don't know if he'll go on the cheap now.
To be fair, a couple bids came in for him and Jan.
Did they?
And they knocked them back. I think it might have been Forest that bid for him.
Oh, yeah. I think they
Forest
did.
bid for him and they rejected him.
Yeah. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's just Visser. Like, he does all right at Brentford. But a return of that is very impressive. And shout out Visser. Shout out Congo. I only know how to swear in Lingala, so I'm not going to do that.
Well, you're not going to do it?
I know 2 phrases in Congolese. And people are probably very surprised. Why does this white boy know 2 phrases in Lingala? Because I grew up in Camden. There you go. Zoba. I think it means like stupid. And then mutumu nene. It means like imbecile.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And Visser is neither of them.
Mutumu nene.
Mutumu nene, I think.
Mutumu nene.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that tomorrow.
What?
For my Congolese colleagues.
Tell me if it works.
Right. Zubo.
Zoba. Yeah, there you go.
I'll write it down.
Zoba, just voice. I'll voice note you. But yeah, no, Visser, you are neither of those things. Brilliant player. I think you've flown under the radar, and I just want to do a bit of a Visser appreciation. Bit. Yeah. Go on. Who's yours?
He's mine. Well, this is a player that I don't know. When I kind of similar age to us, and I remember when he was playing for Arsenal, he was coming through the ranks. He scored that goal. I think it was away at Everton.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
You're talking about
Alex, big rapper with Loud and Scott nowadays. Come on.
Oh man, yeah, the rapper. I think it's probably helping his career at the moment. He's playing with confidence. That goal he scored against Chelsea, good goal. You don't really see where be doing that. Well, last season or the season before, you never really saw him take a touch, burst past a player, and just weaker foot, bottom bin. So it's seeing what he's doing. He's got 9 goals, 5 assists this season. He's played he's played right back, he's played left wing back, he's played centre mid, he's played cam, he's played on the wing. I think he's probably even played false 9 at this point. So he's doing the bits, and wherever the manager asks him to do, he's been doing it. So props to Iwobi. I think he's finally maturing into the player that that we all saw he could turn out to be. Obviously, he's not really gone to that level of being a great player at a great club, but I think he's becoming very important for Fulham. I think he's very disrespected just because of maybe tough times and tough numbers that he's kind of put on the board in past years. But I think now he's probably a bit of a leader at that team. And I'm hoping that can also translate into his form for Nigeria as well. But yeah, Wobie, man. His rap career has taken off as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, you might see him doing shows as well as performing.
He's just winning, isn't he?
On the carpet, yeah. The guy.
Do you think moving to the 10 has really helped Wobie? Because he's played a lot of games in the 10 rather on the left.
I think so. I think I've always preferred him playing in the middle, and I think he now has a maturity of when to make the right pass, perfect weight on the pass, when to release the ball, how to take pressure away from players that probably don't have the same confidence. He's now, 27?
I think he's 29.
He's 29?
Yeah.
No, he's not 29.
I promise you, he's 2 year groups above us.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Wobie.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, born 96. He's 28. He's 29 on the 3rd. He's 29 on the 3rd of May.
Damn.
Scary, isn't it? We're getting on, cheeks.
Damn, he's old.
I remember him at Goodson Park doing the...
Yeah, man.
No, he didn't do that. He did the...
Yeah. He wasn't doing the big 7E, big 4-5. He was...
Oh, yeah. It was AK-47, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What was big 4-5?
Oh yeah, why am I thinking AK? He was wearing like 40 something. Yeah, big 4. Yeah.
4-5's a gun as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, big up Iwobi, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and he got a lot of hate at Arsenal.
He still gets so much hate. Like Nigerian fans give him so much hate, but I feel like he deserves the love this year, and I hope he can salvage our qualifying. You can see that how much of a close knit team there are. And I think he was the start of that. I think in the Nigerian culture, there was always that. You had like the players from England that played for Nigeria. And then you had the Nigerians that grew up there that also played for Nigeria. And there was quite a bit of over the years, what I've seen, it seemed like there was a bit of a divide and like they couldn't really cross over. But I think Iwobi was one of the first ones to like go there at a young age. And he actually chose Nigeria over England, which is very rare. You know, when you're kind of developing and you're getting a bit of excitement.
Didn't Saka choose to represent England on like Nigerian Independence Day or something like that?
Yeah.
That's poor.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, if you're asked that on the day, you don't be like, oh, can I wait a day? Like, you're going to be like, yes, and then it gets announced. So it's not really on him. But no, a lot of people don't, when England come calling, you usually accept, and he was. I'm sure he had talk with his family and JJ Kocher and stuff like that, and like they told him that his heart would lie with Nigeria. And I don't think he's
big JJ.
Big JJ. So no, big up Iwobi. He's brought unity to that squad. He's probably made it more attractive for people like Lookman to join. I think he's probably made friendships like Kelechi Iheanacho, other people like that. So I think, he's got a good thing going, and he's now, I think, the leader of multiple dressing rooms and making an impact in the Premier League as well again. So big up to man like Alexander.
I liked it when Lookman turned up. I think it was like he won best player in Africa, was it? Yeah, African player. I really liked his like traditional Nigerian fit.
Yeah,
he looked cold.
Yeah.
Was that at the Ballon d'Or? He was maybe both.
I think he just won the African Player of the Year. His African Player of the Year was. Yeah.
Nigerians. Is he Igbo?
He got 14th in the Ballon d'Or as well.
Is he Igbo or Yoruba?
Ademola, no, he's Yoruba.
Cool.
Ademola is like Yorubanian.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, he's But I think Nigerians always dress really well.
Yeah,
all your
mates
mates
we like
dress
flashy. Flashy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but
we like to represent.
But every Nigerian I know.
Yeah, it's not bad. Just one.
Yeah, it's like all three of them.
Who are the three?
Chinedu, I went to school with.
Yeah.
Odera, you, and then to be fair, I've met all your mates from like bus stand and stuff. So it's Chikalu actually. I know quite a few actually.
More than three, mate.
Yeah, more than three.
More than three. You know, all three of ya.
Cultural,
yeah. Get some Declan rice. Jollof rice.
Yeah, I prefer jollof. Although, I've told you about me like having gone there and jollof, and I feel quite loyal to that now.
Wait, obviously.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had it?
A while ago now. It's my granddad's carer's gone there.
Before COVID or?
Can't remember. I just remember like.
See what I mean? Like if it was Nigerian jollof, you would remember. You'd remember the taste.
No,
like,
no. I still remember the taste. It was perfect.
But you don't even know when you had it, bro. Like I remember, like I would remember where I was. No,
I remember I was going to see my granddad.
I remember what year it was.
This
even like what period of time it was. You can't even remember a thing.
This is gonna sound so.
And he hasn't had it since.
This is gonna sound so horrible, but it was one of the main reasons I went up because I was like, I really want some like homemade jollof, and I
you went up?
See my granddad.
Oh, you went to see him because it's for the food?
Yeah. Shout out Beatrice. Oh, it's so good, man. It's like a proper like auntie, Ghanaian auntie, and making me homemade jollof. Even my dad, who doesn't like spice, was like, "What's that? What's this spicy rice?" And we were like, and then my mum was like trying to, she got a notepad out. She's like, yeah, more seasoning. No, but I got addicted to it. And then she'd like leave the bones of the meat, and I really like that because so I just really like the way Beatrice makes me jollof.
But you haven't had it since, so.
No, because I haven't been up to see him. But it might be a big motivator to go back up.
See, look.
Yeah. What meat do you usually cook jollof with?
You can cook it with any meat, like.
I don't know what meat she uses, but it's like, you know, like when you go to a Chinese and you get the ribs, and like it's like a chunky bone, so it's like the cubes, and it's nice to have in the jollof because you can just get off the bone.
Goat meat, maybe.
Yeah, it's nice though. There you go. Shout out Beatrice. All right, Maddest moment of the week. Vitor Pereira is my Maddest moment of the week. He, a while ago, I don't know if this was recent or not, but I think it was after they won 4 games in a row. He just turned up in the local Wetherspoons in Wolves and started celebrating with the fans. Do you want to see it? You never see that anymore. Who's that? That's the Wolves manager. He just turned up. He went to Wolverhampton. He turned up in the Wetherspoons and just started celebrating in the pub with them and drinking pints.
The United game?
I think the game before.
Oh, damn.
I think it was against Spurs. He just turned up in the Spoons. I could tell by the unique carpet. I was like, that's Big Vitor. Do you see it again?
Let me see that.
He's just got local people from Wolves. I think he's slowly, like in his short while of being there, he's literally turning into a bit of a cult hero. I think they hadn't won 4 games in a row since 1971, and look, there he is in the middle. It's mental, isn't it?
Mad.
And like, the most similar thing I've ever seen is when I was at uni and I saw the Swansea manager in a big Tesco. Never seen anything like that. I saw Declan Rice maybe after a West Ham game going to a pub, and he don't even drink. But I just loved that. That is such a... Nice.
Yeah. Should have fucking knocked him out.
Yeah, I backpied you. And you. But yeah, I don't know.
Break the other wrist.
I just thought that was really wholesome. Yeah. Just think that was a really good Maddest moment.
Is that it?
Yeah, that was it. Just
a man went to the pub.
I love the booze. No, but you wouldn't see it. Do you see Pep wouldn't even fucking stop his bike in Manchester.
He's walking through the streets of Manchester, biking through the streets.
When have you ever heard a Premier League manager go for a session Spoons after he's just won 4 on the bounce for the first time since 1971?
You're adding like little bits to it.
I told you.
We saw a referee go on a session and get fucking...
Yeah, I know, but that's different, isn't it? He's celebrating with the fans. It's just, look, fair play to him.
Manager celebrating with fans.
In a Wetherspoons.
Please tell me if that is mad. Is that mad to you?
I think that's mad.
I think it's cool. I don't think it's mad.
I think it's great. You've never seen a manager do that? Tell me another time a manager's done that. Gone into a boozer after.
I've seen managers celebrate with their fans in their cities. Didn't fucking Messi go to dinner?
Not in a Wetherspoons.
Why?
Vitor Pereira was drinking a hooch.
What's Wetherspoons? If it's a Wetherspoon or if it's an all bar one, doesn't make a difference. They're all shit.
No, I'm so... Don't you dare.
They're all fucking shit.
They're fucking cheap. And you get shit ordered to your table. We're not... I've got a video idea. We're doing...
Burger.
We're doing the Spoons game if we ever go to the Spoons now. Do you know about the Spoons game?
What's the Spoons game?
You tell everyone what Wetherspoons you're in, and you tell them your table number, and then put it on your Instagram story, and then people can order whatever they want to your table. So I once did it, and I got like a fortune cookie. I think I got like a whole meal. Someone just ordered me a pot of baked beans. It's pretty fun. crazy nights out I have.
Fucking hell, man.
Might do the spins game with Vitor Pereira. There you go.
Hell.
Whilst he's drinking his hooch and I'm drinking my £3
spoons.
lager. There you go. That's my Maddest moment, though. I think that's very wholesome. Okay, what's yours? Is your head hurting, by the way? You're doing that a lot.
No, it's because it got done fresh.
Oh, fair. What's your Maddest moment, sir?
You probably already seen this, but like, there was a referee. He was refereeing this game. I think it's a Saturday or Sunday league game.
Oh, I love this story. Yeah, please tell it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Well, it's half time and he goes in to collect his stuff, and he's like, "Someone's shat in my shoe, or someone's put dog shit in my shoe." He calls off the whole game.
The game has never been more back. The game has never been more back. That is incredible. Do you know the amount of times I've probably wanted to do that to a Sunday League ref?
Why are they so bad? Why are refs so bad in this
No,
country?
you know what? You're probably having a good game. It was just probably someone like they were probably like 3-0 down or something. Is that video of the bloke in the video going? He's just all right. Game's off, lads. Why? Someone's shat in his shoe.
Oh my God.
Imagine hearing that. I remember I saw another one where it's like,
Have you seen a picture of it?
yeah, it's bad. They like smear it around the outside as well. It's
that
bad.
shoe's gone. At least it's not like a
Why would
Louis Vuitton shoe or not like a high-end shoe.
Yeah.
It's just a little shit little.
Yeah. Imagine coming back to like the missus after a game like that. Like, how's
With
your
one shoe on.
Yeah. No. If you're one of the players, how's your game, love? How did it go? Got called off. Why? Someone put dog shit in the ref's shoe. It's just like, what a weird Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's bizarre. I even saw another funny clip on the Sunday League. Someone got caught cheating on their girlfriend, and she came up and just before they're about to kick off, she smacks him, and it's the same thing. Just another geezer called Gary goes, "What's happened?" And he goes, "Mrs. just come back to have you cheated on her last night." I love Sunday League. The moment Sunday League goes, I think I'll be.
I've
so
seen
depressed.
it all, man.
Mate, I've got fucking jumped after a Sunday League game. Bad. I've been hospitalised after a Sunday by 3
I've
guys.
seen bats.
You've seen bats.
I've seen bats.
We saw bats.
Yeah, we saw bats,
I'm glad.
bro.
I'm glad I didn't get jumped after that game.
Fucking hell. Bats got caught at the game called off. I see grown men using their little toddlers as shields.
Do you remember we were on the other pitch that game? Oh, we got so many Sunday League stories to tell.
Yeah.
We got me. Maybe one day I think we'd get demonetized if we showed the photo of me after a Sunday League game.
Nah, you'd be alright. You'd be alright. Well,
Bro, it's a lot of blood. I got sucker punched and jumped by like 3. Was it 3 guys? Might have been 4. It was one main guy,
one main guy.
and then there was like
And
2 others.
Yeah.
I got jumped bad.
Yeah.
I got hospitalised after Sunday League. But
Remember Jed ran all the way. The guy was chasing him.
was that the same game?
Yeah, same game, same guy.
What, he was trying to get Jed as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I think Jed was like, "Why you do it? Like, why are you?"
Yeah.
Being like, "What the fuck you doing?" Like, the guy's like, "You want some as well?" I don't know.
I don't blame him. Probably saw what he done to me.
Oh my days.
I had to have surgery after that as well. I got nasal
really?
surgery. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was peak. But, you know, took it.
Sunday League.
Took it, got taken. Yeah, but the bat one was crazy. I don't think we can name the teams, but
No, I'll name them. Okay.
but
Wait, what was it?
it was Bandits versus Clerkenwell.
Yeah, that was
We
it.
were playing in one pitch, and then we looked across the other pitch, and I shit you not, you were injured on the sideline. I was playing centre half. So we just saw bats. Like, and when we say bats, not animals, like cricket, was it baseball bats?
Yeah, baseball bats.
We don't even play baseball in the UK, but they were ready. They were ready. We just saw like loads of people running, and it was crazy.
People were just threatening you when you're playing. You're tackling them. They're like, oh.
Yeah. And like, you know, it's like, say that again, I'll meet you after. People will meet you after in the Sunday League where you played. And trust me, I can attest to that. I was trying to stick up for a guy getting picked on, and then I got fucking battered.
Yeah.
Quite, not with bats. The fists were enough. I think I'd be dead if it was with bats.
Fucking hell,
Yeah.
Well,
it was,
what a strike that was.
Yeah, it was probably best strike of the game.
Yeah, I scored a couple in that.
Yeah, it was an incredible game. By that. All right. Well, as we do the outro, what should? Oh, actually, we wanted to just mention something. Serie A, crazy.
Crazy.
So who's it between again? It's between Inter and is it Atalanta?
Napoli.
So at the moment, because they don't do goal difference, it's based on who's their head-to-head record, I think, who wins the league. And their head-to-head record is the exact same. So in Inter versus Napoli, they might have to have a playoff game to decide who wins the Scudetto. I don't know if it's ever happened before. I don't know enough on it, but I just think that's mental. Do you think that should be introduced in the Premier League?
I don't know. I find it weird. I think it should be played in a neutral venue, but apparently the team with the highest goal difference
gets the home
ground. That just seems like...
I kind of like that.
No, because what do you mean? Like, just because they scored a couple goals more than me, or like the difference is less for me, you mean like you get your home support and have to bring like 10% of my like fan base? Like, doesn't make sense to me.
I tell you what, that'll be a historic game. I'll be watching it. Will you watch it if it does happen?
Depends what I'm doing that day.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
but crazy. I kind of like it. I think it's original. It's kind of like how we should bring back the MLS penalties. Would you be keen on bringing back the MLS penalties?
No.
Okay, good answer. All right, cool. As we outro,
I think I want to participate in them, but I don't know if we should bring that to professional football.
I think we should bring it like you know, like how we have sin bins on the Saturday or Sunday. I think
you're gonna get more injuries, though, innit?
From,
they're running and getting tackled and diving. And...
Oh, from the MLS. But yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, as we wrap up, Freak of the Week, Howler.
Your Vinicius Howler.
Yeah, my Vinicius. Yeah, Vinicius. Yeah. My whole point. He didn't do much that season, Jack. He was the standout player in the Champions League. He scored in the final.
You know, you were like, it's a hat trick.
I was probably going in on him, like criticising him.
No, you were right to go in on him. I was fucking right.
I just used the complete wrong point.
No, you were fucking
I've had
right.
a bit of a howler today. I think the howler should be me. A lot of my points just have not made sense there.
No, this was one.
It's just
one. We corrected it.
And for Freak of the Week, do you know who I'm going to go for?
VAR is not in operation at this moment.
What?
There's been a fire alarm at Stockley Park. So for the next 50 minutes or so, there's no VAR.
Come on! That's brilliant. Oh, do you know what? I was going to give Freak of the Week to Vitor Pereira, 5 wins on the bounce for Wolves. But I think I'm going to give it for the fire alarm at Stockley Park. That is my Freak of the Week. That is fantastic. If that could happen more often, if you know how to hack into the fire alarm system at Stockley Park, I'm not condoning this for all things, but if you could do that, that'd be great. So I'm going to give it to the fire alarm. Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
No.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, well, I'm still going to give it to the fire alarm. This sounds like ASMR right now.
Are you still going to do this thing?
We've had to record this bit if you didn't know. Camera died. But yes, bye guys. Chika's going mad and we need to wrap up. So thank you for listening. Bye.